Hello and welcome to the Entrefluential Life podcast. I'm your host, John Tanner.
And I'm your co-host, Sebastian Tanner, ready for another wonderful episode.
Outstanding. So, Sebastian, how was your day today, my friend?
It's been great. I went to work earlier, and then after that, me and Michaela went to the gym. So we did some cardio, and now I'm starting out to do the Stairmaster because I want to...
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to start burning a little bit more calories.
Stairmaster.
Yeah, exactly. And that, for me, that works me. Like, it works my legs a lot. My legs get really tired doing that, so now, I know... That's something that I need to improve on is the stamina with my leg strength. And it's like it's intense. And sometimes I'll speed it up, go up to like 10, 11, 12 speed for like 30 seconds as long as I can go, or 45 seconds. And then I'll slow it back down to like 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And then sometimes I'll just, like during the workout, I'll put it up to like a 6 or 7 speed. That way I'm going like at a constant pace to make my heart, get my heart pumping. That way I'm
accelerate your heart rate.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm on the Stairmaster, I'm sweating bullets. Like, I'm sweating everywhere. It's sweating everywhere.
Yeah.
So I love it.
That's awesome, man. How long were you on it for?
20 minutes today.
20
minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Okay, great.
And I think I burned...
That's awesome.
I don't know. I have to check. I can probably see right here. Yep. So I did 22 minutes tracked, and I burned 342 calories.
Yeah, that's great, man.
So,
wow, you were going hardcore then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was making sure my heart rate was up.
That's amazing because I did an hour on the treadmill, and I burned about 400 calories.
Wow.
So like you burned almost the same amount of as me in half the time.
That's what I try to say sometimes on these fitness tips, when I say to the viewers that you don't always need to have a whole lot of time to go and work out.
Yeah.
I'm proud with that workout. Maybe we might go hit weights later because we took a day off from weights yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But I was still proud of, like, if I didn't do anything else for the rest of the day, at least I did that workout. And that 20 minutes, I got a lot. I burned a lot of calories in 20 minutes.
It makes you feel good.
Exactly. Yeah. You gotta really push yourself.
If you're gonna be eating, you need to burn those calories anyway.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Exactly.
That's really great, man. I'm glad to hear that you did that. That's really cool.
Thanks.
One of the machines is out in our gym over here.
Really?
On the treadmills.
Man,
so I was making a funky noise, so I told them I just jumped on the other one. There was nobody there. So.
Yeah.
And then I just told them in the office, I'm like, hey, there's something wrong with that treadmill next to the door, so if you guys want to check it out. They were going to put a sign on it that sounded the word until they can get it fixed. But it sounded like grinding. Not a good sound.
Yeah.
So at least there's those elliptical machines.
Yes.
And
the ellipticals are nice too.
And the stairs.
Those burn a lot of calories too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It doesn't seem like it would, but like when you're moving your arms,
right?
You're pushing, you keep raising the resistance. Yeah.
With more resistance, the more burn. So I was going to ask you, when you were on top of the Stairmaster, were you listening to a podcast or were you listening to music?
I listen to music at first, and sometimes it just doesn't do it for me because the Stairmaster is really it's really intense for me to do. Like, I get really exhausted doing this because I need to get in. Like, I'm working on my endurance right now and stamina, so I'm really trying to push myself to get my lungs stronger, get my endurance stronger, my cardio up. Yeah. And to do that, sometimes I have to listen to like motivational and gym motivation. I'll go on my YouTube thing. Oh, okay. And I'll type in gym motivation, something like that.
Oh, cool.
And I'll scroll through the videos and I'll just listen to it.
Good.
And it's like
that's great,
compilation.
So it has music and it has motivational words.
It has some music in it, and it's got people.
You can do it.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's great.
I
didn't
different speeches
and that's on YouTube.
Yeah, they'll have different edits. Like you'll listen to Arnold, and then you'll have different motivational coaches and stuff talking on there. Then you'll hear Tony Robbins. It's like a whole compilation of and then they'll have different titles for everything. So everything's a different type of message for every video.
Nice.
So I like to listen to that because it really pumps me up. I feel like I imagine them talking to me. Like they're right there talking to me right now. And I'm
that's
like, what are you going to give up? Are you going to sit there and quit when life is getting hard? And I'm sitting there and I'm gasping and my sides cramping. I'm cramping because the workout. I'm trying. Yeah. I was kind of taking my cardio a little bit lighter just to get a sweat going, and then my girlfriend was like, "Okay, you're not pushing hard enough. You can push harder in the cardio."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Damn, you really called me out." So now I have to really push hard every single time I go. And summer's getting close, so it's it's now or never. Yeah. And so now I'm really pushing harder, and so for me to get my mindset at that next level, I listen to those videos, and sometimes I watch them too, and you'll see different edits, people working out, and it motivates me. I'm like, okay, I want to work harder than them. I want to push more. I want to work harder than myself. I want whatever my limit, I want to start working more because for her to say something, I should be the one to call myself out. I should be the one pushing myself to go harder. So, you know, I'm really grateful that I have her to tell me that.
No. Sometimes we need somebody else to give us a little push.
You do a little bit because then you get complacent with the
helpful.
workouts. So I was like getting a little bit complacent, and so yeah, that really it really pushes me because when I'm getting tired and I'm hearing whatever they're saying in the video, I'm using that as like fire. I'm like, okay. And it gives me energy, and then I can push it back up to the 10, 12 speed or whatever, and go boom, boom, boom.
So similarly, when I first started really working out in the gym, because you know I had always been running since the military. I had been running outside. I would go on outdoor runs. You know, put my headphones on, listen to music, and go on outdoor runs. But then I started working out in the gym around 2004, and I started like hitting the treadmill and doing my runs on the treadmill and started building up my long run, right? Like going from like
distance run.
Like 15 minutes to an hour. You know, like I built my way up to get to an hour. And at one point, I don't do it anymore, but at one point I was running 6 miles on.
I remember.
So that was great, man. And I used to, when I was getting into that, like around that time period, I used to imagine I was running in the platoon, you know, in the army, and when I was in the military, you know, I imagine I'm with my platoon running, and that motivated me. I listened to those cadences. I would still remember them, you know, calling cadences, and then so like when you're talking about those motivational messages, like I visualize that.
It's like a drill sergeant, like
a drill sergeant.
Like left, right, left, right. Push, come on, push, go. I love it.
Count,
I love that.
Cadence, count. 1, airborne ranger. 2, bear, do your best. 3, before you find yourself. 4, in the front, lean and rest. 1, hit it. 2, hit it. 3, hit it. 4. So like I still remember that stuff from way back when, and it would motivate me. Now I don't need it. I don't need that anymore. Now I just I go and I'm actually thinking about all kinds of stuff. I think about why am I not in a relationship? I think about sometimes I think about somebody who I like. You know, sometimes I think about where am I going to go in the future? What am I going to do with my business? I always think about my business all the time. I think about you. I think about grandma and grandpa and our relationships and just all kinds of stuff. I process information in my mind, you know, like, oh, what am I going to do next? Like things that I got to do, things that I want to do. I visualize myself, you know, like doing future things. So it's like, you know, a lot of goal setting. And I think it's amazing to when you're in that zone, your body's physically active is the best time to program yourself for success.
Right.
You know, that's what Tony Robbins talks about. So, and we're going to talk about that in today's Entrefluential tip of the day, because we're going to talk about neuro-linguistic programming. And Tony Robbins is one of the masters of NLP.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well,
since like the 70s or 80s.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll get started with our fitness tip of the day then.
Yeah, please do.
Excellent. So today the last week that we did our fitness tip of the day, we did our list of the 7 best shoulder exercises, which we found on Instagram from gym_fitness.0.01. And this time we're gonna tag them and shout them out again.
Yeah, that's great.
And then this time I found out we're going to keep the same theme for a little bit right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do another post that I found on Instagram by another account called Workout.gurus. And this is for a back day. So they start off their first workout doing heavy deadlifts, 3 sets for 5 reps. Then they do, after that, they move on to lat pull downs. Then they're going to be doing 3 sets of 10 reps for each set. Next, they do bent over rows. And so with this, they're using, you can see the demonstration. See, I love how we have this here. I want them to be able to see this too.
Yeah.
Because you can see the guy, he's using the barbell, so like you use for the bench.
So he's kind of got a squat. He's like
almost
halfway squat.
This is kind of like what you would do for an RDL, almost a similar position. You're doing a Romanian deadlift. So this is the
It doesn't go all the way to the ground. It kind of goes to his knees.
Exactly.
And then up to the
he's
ribs.
doing like a row. But you know, like you do like a lat pull down or you do a lat row.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on right here. So he's rowing it. And he's gonna go down and then row. And then sometimes you can squeeze at the top so you can really get those back muscles working. And then their next workout is a straight arm lat pull down. They're doing 3 sets of 10 reps.
All the way to the ground?
So this is how they do it.
Oh, that's the bar. Yeah,
Like this, you keep your arm straight, and you pull it down to your.
Yeah, I've done that. That's a good exercise.
This is a great
I need to
one.
start doing that again.
It's a great. I'm
gonna start doing that again.
She likes to do those, and now we're
I
doing
did my back and
day
shoulders today, so I have to wait 2 days.
Yeah. It's a great. I mean, I'm telling you, you're gonna really feel your lats.
That's awesome.
And then look, what do you know? The next one that they have is 3 sets for 10 reps of a seated row. So that's just like what I was talking about when we were looking at those bent over rows. They're doing you have the machine with the bench, and you can put whatever adjustment
the row. Yeah, I do that. That's what I did today.
Nice.
I did the row today. Yeah.
And then their last one they finish off with is pull-ups.
Pull-ups.
So doing 3 sets of 10 reps.
I can't do
body
those,
weight.
man.
This guy's doing body weight, so you can do that or you can do assisted.
Wow.
And then that's their back day.
Cool.
So it's a great back day, and they got 6 workouts right there. You're getting a lot done. And sometimes you don't even need to do so many machines when you go to the gym. If you don't have so much time, when you have the time, then a workout like this is great. A workout plan like this is great. But if you don't have a lot of time, you can do even just 4 different movements, 4 different workouts, and you'll have a great. And you can even throw in a superset in some of those too. So then really you're doing 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 different things. If you just do a quick superset and you keep it short, then you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. Or you can just focus on 4 key lifts, and you can do that for your routine. So if you have time, you can do a workout like this. This looks like a great workout routine. I do a lot of these myself.
How many exercises? There's like 6 different exercises on that.
There's 6.
For the back.
6 on that. Yep.
Back and shoulders. Or just back.
Just back. Yep.
Okay.
And then like for me, I usually do back and bis. So on a day like this, I'll do back and I do bicep as
curls.
Well.
Okay.
Yep. And then so that's our fitness tip of the day. Thank you, Workout Gurus.
Yeah, thank you, Workout Gurus. Hey, that was excellent. I love the little
they have a little
characters that are moving. They move and they show you the movement, which is fantastic. Because like when you go to a gym and you look at the machine, they have the picture on the machine, and it has like the before move and the after move.
Yep.
But you don't see the movement. You know, so you've got to imagine.
Should I bring my phone up there?
Yeah,
why not?
Cool.
Right?
Show it to them.
Why
Yeah,
not?
absolutely. I'll tell you. Yeah, that'd be great. It looks really awesome.
All right, so our first movement we got right there.
Yeah, that looks
heavy
great.
deadlifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
That is so cool.
Boom.
Boom.
Now we're gonna go into the second one.
That's great.
Lat pull downs.
Lat pull downs. Look at that.
Shows you the machine. Shows you the guide.
That's what I did today. I did the lat pull downs.
Nice.
Today. Yep.
All right, now we're going to kick it to the third workout.
Uh-huh.
This is the bent over rows that we were talking about.
Yeah, okay, bent over row. That is not going to make your butt look like that. It's just going to make your back.
What's going on with that guy hitting legs every single day? All right, now we got the straight arm pull downs.
I need to add that to my workout again. I didn't.
That one's amazing. I love that.
I need to do that again.
We do that every back day now, and I can feel the difference.
That's awesome.
And if you do that as a superset, whoo, your back is going to be on fire.
I did that today.
There's
I did 3
that.
sets of 10 seated row. Yep, that's awesome.
And then,
I love it.
Then we got the pull-ups.
And there's the pull-ups. Okay, I ain't doing that. I'm a coward.
I'm working on mine right now.
Oh,
I'm getting closer and closer every single day. I'm getting it lower and lower. I started off doing like 130 assisted, then I went to 115, 105. Now I'm finishing off at 85 to I think, and then I put it down to like 70s. 70s is the lowest I've gone for. I don't know. I think I maybe did 6 or 7.
That's great.
At 70. So from 130 to get to 70, and oh yeah.
Guys, look on camera.
All right.
Thank you. That was awesome, man.
Right? Hey, wasn't that cool?
Yes.
That way they get to see it.
I'm so glad you showed it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's gonna be on YouTube, so they can pause it, rewind.
That's so awesome.
All of those.
And see the workouts. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, I know you're sweating, man, because it's hot here. We don't have AC. We could open the door though and have it. I don't know, like
we could
if you want to, because they're not here, so they won't make any noise. So, but we need to flip the AC on. If you want to go over there, I think it was set to 75. Okay. Sorry, guys, it's like warm in our studio right now because we have this lights beaming right on us, and we don't have the AC on, so trying to avoid the noise. But it is really hot in here, and he's dressed up, so we're gonna turn the AC on real quick. So, anyways, for the mindset tip of the day, just told them that it was hot in here.
Oh yeah.
So for the mindset tip of the day, we are looking at principle number 27 from the Success Principles by Jack Canfield.
All right.
And it's keep your eye on the prize.
I love that.
Keep your eye on the prize, right? Eye of the tiger, baby. Well, eye of the tiger means you're hungry. But keep your eye on the prize means stay on target, okay?
Yep.
So, like, it is so easy in our world to get distracted. Yep. I do all the time, right?
Yep.
I got distracted this morning. You know what I did? I have to show you this. So I went to Column, which is it's a web page where you can access some local newspapers from like Orlando all the way up to Jacksonville.
Wow.
And I did a fictitious name search, so you can like search for probate records, divorce records, like all kinds of different things, right? And I searched for fictitious name registrations, and for the past month there was 155 registrations. So I made a list for us to do our mailing, right? Because these are all entrepreneurs that we want to reach out to to provide our services to and invite them to the workshops.
Right. Yes.
So I realized while I was driving today that it's not covering South Florida. So I have on my phone, I've got the names of different newspapers like the Miami Today, the Miami Herald, Sun Sentinel, which is for Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach. And then there's also like a Boca Daily Review, and there's like there's like 5 or 6 different papers down south. And I was like, wow, you know what? This number is probably that much, or maybe even twice as much, because they're in big cities with a huge amount of people.
Right.
So there might be like 300 registrations.
Oh, that's right.
To reach out to. So, anyways, so that was kind of my rabbit hole. Was working on this today. I mean, I would still like love to outsource this, but like, I was just doing it myself and making the list. And I was like, you know what? We've got to get on target here. And so I got distracted from my routine, my morning routine. So I didn't get to do my morning mental exercises, and I didn't do my meditation this morning because I was busy with that, and it took a lot of time. Yeah. And so, but I did go to the gym. So I mean, at least I got that part. Of my 3M system, at least I got one of the 3 done. And so that was good. But tomorrow I'll have to go straight into stay focused, right? Keep your eye on target, right? Keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah, sometimes things change, you know, like sometimes a day you might have to sacrifice a couple things, but as long as you get back to it and start doing it again, that's what's important.
Exactly. And then so like as an entrepreneur, I mean, there's so many different ways we can go too, right? We can get distracted with new ideas and new concepts and new strategies. But we have to remember, like, hey, let's stay focused on the main thing. Keep the main thing, you know?
Exactly.
So I think that's important to go over. So I like that one.
I love it.
Keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on the prize, people.
Keep your eye on the prize.
Stay focused.
Yes. Keep your eye on the tiger on the prize.
And keep the eye on the tiger while you're working on that prize.
Yep.
Stay hungry.
Yes. Stay hungry. There's a lot of actually motivational videos. One of them I listened to and watched because it's like, you know, compilation. It was titled Stay Hungry. There's another one by Arnold Schwarzenegger, a motivational clip, like montage. There's another one called Stay Hungry.
Oh yeah?
Like, yeah, he says it. He's like in his speeches. I love it. Yeah, you gotta stay hungry because that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you pushing.
Absolutely. Well, what happens is, I mean, before you make it to that up level, you know, that place you want to get to, like that level of success. Yeah. You're naturally hungry. Yeah. Right. You're trying to change your if you are an ambitious person, because I mean, there's people who have goals and they believe they can achieve their goals, and so they're after it, right? Yep. Are you after it? Yeah. There's other people who are complacent, they have no ambition, and they're just like whatever, you know. Yeah. For those of us who are ambitious, when we hit that threshold where we're like, now we've made it, that's where we have to be careful that we don't become complacent. Right. We have to keep the eye of the tiger, and we have to move our bar that we've just reached higher up. Exactly. You know what I mean? So like make yourself a new goal, raise the bar, make yourself a new goal to go after. Yes, I love it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Because when you become complacent, you can lose what you got. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And people do. There's proof that people have gotten complacent. They've reached success. They've reached millions and they lost all of it. So yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't want to be that person. I want to. But some of them come back. Yeah, they do. Yeah. You can always bounce back. You can bounce back. Yeah. But don't even go there. Just stay hungry. Yeah. Try to exactly. Keep the eye of the tiger and keep your eye on the prize. Yes. Because you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of his videos I was listening to, he's saying like how he's like, you have to have your vision and you have to stay hungry. You can't just wake up. You have to wake up and get on the life cycle, get on the elliptical, get on whatever,
and do it every single day. You can't wake up and think like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know my life. I don't know who I am. This and that. Like you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be confident in your dreams.
I love that.
Like, can't wake up and you're unsure of yourself, man. Because that little second of doubt is what's gonna stop you from being great.
And when you get on the machine, when you start working out, man, it makes you feel better, and it changes. Like if you're feeling negative, like I was this morning, this is one of the things I love about the Entrefluential Life, our podcast, is that we bring the realness to like entrepreneurship, and we're not perfect, and we make mistakes, and we have our up days and our down days. But I can tell you what, like this morning, for instance, I was feeling down. I was like, man, when am I ever gonna make it? Like I've been chasing this dream forever. Because I started creating content in 2012, and it's been a decade already. I've been writing books, blogging online, doing this, doing that, going to college, getting degrees, all this stuff, and I'm still trying to make ends meet over here, right? So it's easy to get a little despaired, and I was feeling that way this morning. But when I was on the treadmill, I was listening to Brendan Burchard, and podcast, his podcast that he had sent out yesterday, and I got halfway through it, man, and I was like, boom, boom, I'm sharing this one. This is good. And I was posting on Instagram, like, share this, okay. And it got me motivated. And then within 30 minutes, I was outside of the funk. The funk was gone. And I was back in action. I'm like, okay, let's go, crush it.
Exactly.
And then I had my protein shake, which is like my highlight.
I love
that was so awesome. Okay, anyway. All right, so what you got?
All right, so for the spiritual tip of the day, we're going to be reading the summary of the book of Ezekiel. All right. Ezekiel was God's prophet to the exiles in Babylon during the final days of the nation of Judah, and his book is divided into two distinct sections. The first 32 chapters of Ezekiel warn the exiles that Jerusalem will be destroyed. Imagine getting that type of information, like you're reading the first 32 chapters, and it's warning them Jerusalem is going to be destroyed. Like just know, if you're living there, it's going to get destroyed. Your home is getting wiped out.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that's terrifying. I can't even, like how we felt with COVID and everything like that. Imagine living in these times and you're experiencing this. I mean, it's crazy.
You're right.
That Jerusalem will be destroyed, which was a reality they could not accept. So they couldn't even. They thought the Lord's glory in Jerusalem would preserve the city forever. Ezekiel, however, knew that the Lord's glory was departing due to the sins of the people. See Ezekiel verses 8 through 11. After news came of the destruction of Jerusalem, Ezekiel's message radically changed. Chapters 33 through 48 describe the future of God's people when the glory will return to Jerusalem and the Messiah will reign in peace and victory. During this time of coming glory, the Lord will put a new heart in his people. They will be indwelled by the Spirit and walk in his statutes. Ezekiel 36, 26 through 27. So that's pretty interesting where it says that they will be indwelled by the Spirit.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit came, the Holy Spirit came to live inside of us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We can have that experience now. We needn't wait for the millennial reign of Christ. When we receive him as our Savior, he gives us a new heart, fills us with his Spirit, and enables us to walk in his statutes. The glory of God shines through our lives. The Bible says, Christ in you, the hope of glory. Colossians 1:27. Not everyone wants to hear our message, but they can't deny the radiant-filled hope of those who have a new heart, an obedient life, the indwelling Spirit, in a glorious future. Let's show the world what that looks like. Our key theme of the book of Ezekiel is that we must speak God's words into our generation. So we got to spread his message. We got to spread his word. Whether they hear or whether they refuse to listen, showing them that we have hope because of his love and indwelling Spirit in our lives. Key challenge. Think of the wonder of God's indwelling spirit in your life. Rejoice in that wonderful knowledge. Let the light of his love and glory be evident to others through you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like, I mean, what I get from that is kind of like, think about your blessings. Like, think about how he's working in your life, and let that be evident to others through you. So show gratitude, show thankfulness.
Absolutely.
And be appreciative, because then other people are going to see that.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to catch on too. Like, okay,
yeah.
this guy's appreciative of what he's going through, whatever has happened, and he's still grateful.
Yeah.
Even at the lowest.
Yeah.
He can still be grateful. Why can't, maybe I need to be a little bit more humble. Maybe I should be more like that.
Right.
You know, you're showing them how to live, because not everything's peachy and cream. You know, not everything's peachy and cream.
The way that you respond to things, makes an impression on people.
Exactly.
Right.
And we got to be a good example.
That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to walk the walk, because it's more important to walk the walk than to talk the talk.
Exactly.
Talk the talk falls on deaf ears.
Yes.
Especially if you're in conflict with what you say you're going to do.
Yep.
You know, so you have to try to live. None of us are perfect, but we have to try to walk the walk as much as possible and as best as we can.
Yes, I agree. Our key verse: I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you.
Yeah.
I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh, your cold heart, your heart of stone.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it out of your flesh. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. Ezekiel 36:26-27.
Yeah.
Our key prayer.
I love that.
I like that too. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Our key prayer: Dear God, thank you for the knowledge. You know, wait, hold on. I'm just going to go back to that, because I just thought I had like a thought in my head. It's kind of like your heart of stone. Like, I'm going to give you a new heart. Like, you can be like, we can be so cruel with each other.
Oh my God.
And we
absolutely.
can be,
especially in our adolescence.
Yes, and that's something I realized.
When you're a teenager.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Oh, like, definitely.
Teenagers are like so cold-hearted.
Oh, I mean, I had some issues with getting bullied when I was younger, and you know, back then, I was afraid of conflict. I didn't even know how to defend myself.
Right.
So, I was
I had the same thing too, because like I was never put into boxing classes or martial arts.
I wanted to.
I didn't do that until I was I didn't learn how to fight really until. I mean, I watched TV.
Joined the army, yeah.
But yeah, when I joined the military, that's like when I got
you can watch TV
official
and
training.
see some things, but it's different when you're putting your body through it. Because throwing a punch, it doesn't feel comfortable until you've thrown it a lot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now I'm like, okay, now I can get loose and do different things, and I can adjust and do this and that, and now I can breathe and learn how do I breathe while I'm throwing a punch and a kick, and how do I not use all my energy right away, because you can't just throw a whole bunch of attack and then you're gassed out. That guy, whoever you're fighting, if he's not gassed out, he's whooping you, because if you have no energy in the tank, you're just gonna get beat on. So you gotta. There's a lot that goes into fighting and stuff that I'm learning now, and I don't even want to go out there and whatever. But it's just like, it feels cool to know how to defend yourself.
Absolutely,
back then,
you have to.
It
gives you confidence too.
Yeah, because you don't have to go and fight anyone.
Kids are so mean. Like they're always
there's always a bully.
There's always
bullies.
They
want to put you down to make themselves higher, and especially because they might be going through something at home. They might have a bad family situation and they take it out on other people. And
a lot of people are in environments, in bad environments where that's common.
Yeah.
You know, like if you,
that's like every single day.
There's like
that's like their normal. That's their norm.
Exactly. There's environments that people are like, you know, they're very sheltered. They're you know, they don't experience that as much. But when you grow up in a poor environment, it's common. It's the daily routine, and that causes a lot of anxiety, and so it's really hard. It's really hard to navigate through that environment when all you've got are people that have callous hearts, hard hearts, bad habits, and they don't know any better, and they don't do any better. They have no aspirations to do better. I grew up in a household where we went to church all the time, and so like it was hard. It was a major conflict to try to walk the walk of Jesus, which is to be loving and peaceful, when you've got people that are attacking you every day and you feel like you're on defense all the time. You know what I mean?
That's where I feel like, you know, we get called to be an example for others and to be kind to everyone and love everyone, but sometimes you're gonna have someone that will try you and that will Then just understand there's people try you, but there's people that are going to come and they're going to come swinging full force.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to defend yourself.
Well, yeah.
Because it's one thing to like, okay, I know how to fight. I'm going to go and I'm a badass MF. I'm going to go around and treat anyone like I want to. No, okay, now you are the bully. You became the bully. You became the thing that you didn't like. So don't go and express your power to everyone.
Right.
But you can be able to defend yourself.
I think you should
your family.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's in the right. If it's in defense, if you're not just doing
exactly.
it to be cocky,
in defense,
a real
you need to know how to defend yourself and use
that's
it
what you
only
use it
for self-defense.
Yes.
Not to prove that you're tougher than anybody.
Exactly.
Right. I think it's important to state that.
When you know, like when you're confident in your ability, and like when you know, you don't need to go walking around telling everyone this or that. Like you don't need to be cocky because you know it. Like if you know what you can do, you're like, okay, I don't feel the need, like it's just for defense only. I don't feel the need I need to go and start something. Like there's people that start taking classes and whatever. I see people all the time that are really like, they're hotheads. They think that they're tough guy, they're Mr. Alpha. Sometimes it's the Napoleon syndrome people that are shorter, shorter guys, and they walk around wanting to be tough with everyone. I mean, that's not what you want to, that's not what you want to be at all. They learn they take a couple of classes and they're like, okay, now I'm going to go and kick everyone's butt. You know? Right.
So parents need to be more I think we need to have like we can break this message. We can break this message down into like advice for a few different people.
Yeah.
Advice for first of all, parents. You need to be mindful of what your kids are doing in school because if you don't know if your kids are bullying other kids, that's a major problem that needs to be resolved. Absolutely. They need guidance, and so like. You need to make sure that your kid is not one of those bad kids.
There's too many parents that think, oh, my kid's an angel.
And they're doing bad stuff. So
they're a freaking little...
So they need to be cognizant, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I would imagine that the people that are watching this, they're not those parents. But I would say that if you know somebody who's one of those parents, then you need to be brave and talk to those parents. And do it in a tactful way so that you don't come across as obtrusive, but do it in a clever, stealthy way where you can get the information, get them to become, let them trip on the truth.
Yep.
Find a way to, maybe an intervention, like a whole bunch of people, maybe use the school system to do it, but they need to become aware of it. Maybe a parent-teacher conference will be the right way to do it and give advice to the teachers and to the administrative staff in order for them to achieve that. Because let me tell you, if a child is acting like a bully, a young adult is acting like a bully in school, I can guarantee you that there are kids, and I've seen them myself, and I've been that kid myself when I was in elementary school, that they'll pretend to be sick so that they can stay home and not go to school and face the fear of somebody attacking them for the day.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's a really horrible place to be. And so my heart goes out to all those kids that are feeling that way, and we need to protect them. If you are a kid that's feeling that way, I've been in your shoes. I know how awful it is. I know how when you learn how to fight and defend yourself, and you look at you can change your perception of a person who's attacking, who's bullying you or threatening you. When you look at them mechanically and learn how to shut them down, then it gives you confidence. So I recommend that. Not that you do it so that you can go and beat them up to get revenge. I don't condone that. But I want you to figure out a way to go take some classes to learn self-defense so that you can be confident in yourself and not be afraid, because you do have to be able to defend yourself. And at some point, you may have a necessity to defend your parents or your children or your siblings.
Mugged. You don't know what could happen.
So you need to have that. So you need to be able to defend yourself. So you should take some classes to learn self-defense, so that you can, if the need arises, you can defend yourself. And number two, most importantly, is also to have that self-courage, right?
Yes.
To overcome your fears, because fear, listen, it's more in your mind than it really is in reality. Yeah. And that fear could really hurt you, and you need to overcome that fear. Don't let that fear control you.
There's too many kids that commit suicide because of bullying.
They do commit suicide because of bullying. It's terrible. It's a terrible place to be.
It sucks. That sucks.
So
like when you gotta worry about seeing that guy at school or something, or that girl, or whoever it is, and and like they're giving you a rough time, and you don't even want to go to school. And let the administrative
team know. Let the principal know. And if the person still does something and you've notified the principal, then that school is going to be liable for any kind of lawsuits that could come out of it because they didn't do their job, and their job is to protect you. So you need to let them know. And then in an extreme situation, always call 911 to protect yourself too. And then maybe just maybe the solution might be you need to change schools or go do homeschooling. And so keep that as an option and have a conversation with your parents. If you're in a bad environment that you just can't change that environment and you can't go to another school, then maybe homeschooling could be the option for you, and maybe you and your parents can help you do that. That
if it's
might
a completely bad environment.
Yeah.
If it's just a bully, then don't run away from just one person.
Right, but it
But
could be a whole lot.
if it's a whole lot of things
It could be
going
a
on, if
gang
it's just
that's
a bad
attacking
place,
the person, then
Yeah, if it's a bad place
If
to
you're
be in,
underperforming-
look at other options.
Yeah, and if you're underperforming in all your classes, you're not doing well, you're failing, you got a D or an F, maybe a homeschooling environment will be a lot better for you, and you might be more
Some
productive.
kids learn differently too.
And then
so,
because that could open up opportunities for you to go to trade school or to college, and so those options need to be considered. So I think all of these are examples of all of us have to do our job in order to help change our environment to make it better.
Yes. And it's funny seeing this key verse of the day, because I made an Instagram post. I see like my motivation app gives me messages, and then I'll post them on my Instagram. I'll like go on Canva, make a little slide thing for it, a little picture for it, and I'll post the messages. And my last one that I posted, I think, was kindness begins with the understanding that we all struggle. And so this, how talking about I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh, and it's like you're cold hearted. People are so cold hearted, and it's like to be kind to one another. You have to understand that we all go through our own different struggles. We all are going through something different. Doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, everybody has struggles.
Everyone has some type of struggle, whether it's internal or external.
Yeah, you may think somebody's
know
like
what's going on. Even if they don't have an external problem, they might have something internal.
Absolutely.
With their heart or with their mind that they're going through.
Exactly.
You never, you can't judge a book by its cover. It's hard.
And even even those people that you think have like a perfect life don't have a perfect life. There's issues that they've got to deal with as well.
Yeah,
I found that is more common. It's more common than not.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have no idea what people have gone through to get to the level of success that they're at. So it's like the picture of the iceberg. You only see the top of the iceberg, but you don't see everything that's underneath it.
Nope.
So keep that in mind.
All right. So the last thing on our spiritual tip of the day is our key prayer, and that is, Dear God, thank you for the knowledge that you are the answer to the world's deepest questions. Help me to boldly share you and your love with those who are desperately searching for answers today. But also for those that are desperately watching today. Those that are watching. But so help me to boldly share you and your love with those who are desperately searching for answers today. So that's it. Summary of the book of Ezekiel.
That's awesome. So that prayer actually reminded me of one of my virtues of the day, because I do these virtues of the day.
Yeah.
And one of them was peace, right? And so I actually put like 3 or 4 different pictures of where I found the definition for peace, because when peace as described in the Bible has a lot of meaning. So like there was like peace, shalom. There's peace. Another term that's used in Greek. I don't even remember what the word was, but check it out. The meaning behind it was when God gives us peace, He gives us peace because as human beings we're broken. Yeah. So from the time of Adam and Eve, from the time that we broke, because Adam and Eve were living in peace and harmony with God. Then they broke the rule when they opened up Pandora's box, so to say, when they bit the apple, the forbidden fruit. They opened up the knowledge of good and evil. Things changed, right? They broke their relationship with God, and then from that point forward, everything has been broken. We have been broken as human beings. We had eternal life in the Garden of Eden. That was broken. Now we grow old and we die. So that was our brokenness. Is one problem. Our broken relationship with God is the second problem, and our brokenness with each other, Adam and Eve, causing conflict. If you look at Cain and Abel, Cain killed Abel, right? The brother killed the other brother. So these are the children of Adam and Eve.
Hello, Greta.
Hey, Greta. Hi, Greta. How are you? And then, so what when God says He gives us this peace, Jesus said, "I give you peace not like the world gives you. I give you peace that's everlasting." He's talking about the reconciliation, peace of reconciling ourselves. We need peace within ourselves. We need peace with each other, right? Because the world's in conflict. There's wars going on right now. Russia, Ukraine. There was an issue with Iran recently this week. There's like all these different conflicts that are always going on. So we need peace, and then we also need peace with God. So like all that reconciliation. So I thought about that prayer. I'm like, yeah, we need peace. We need reconciliation. We need harmony in all of these areas. So that let me just write this down here. Okay. All right. So now, thank you for sharing the spiritual tip of the day. Let me go into the notes for the Entrefluential tip of the day. And so I wanted to talk to you about neuro-linguistic programming. And so I have some notes on my phone here. I'm just going to pull them up real quick. If you haven't heard of what neuro-linguistic programming is, it's about looking at the neurological processes in our brain, how it's attached to the language, our communications, and our behavior patterns that we've learned. It's our behavior pattern, blah blah blah. Our behavior patterns have been programmed inside of us from day one, from our conception in the womb, and all the way to where you are today. Okay, these programs have been basically, like, think about it like software programs you've installed in your subconscious mind, and you act these things out. But you can modify these things, and so I want to share with you on here how we can modify those things. Let me see if I can pull it up over here because it was a little dark on that phone. Okay. All right, so you can use NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, to identify and change limiting beliefs that are holding you back from achieving your business goals. So it can help entrepreneurs communicate more effectively, build stronger relationships with your customers and your team members, and develop a growth mindset that will allow you to persevere through challenges. How cool is that?
I love that.
Very, very, very cool. All right, so I have an example here. If you're an entrepreneur who's struggling to overcome your fear of public speaking, you can use NLP to identify the underlying belief, the limiting beliefs that cause you to have that fear. So once you've identified that limiting belief, wherever it started in your life, you can work to change it using NLP techniques to create a new positive mindset about public speaking.
Wow.
Right? That will help you communicate more effectively, to build stronger relationships with your customers and with your team members, and to achieve your business goals. If you have a problem with speaking with people, this is something that you really need to overcome, because communication is the gateway, right, between your customers and you, right, and between your third-party internal customers too, which are your third-party vendors. People don't know, like, your customers don't know what you need. Your third-party vendors and your colleagues don't know what you need unless you communicate it. Communication is a two-way street, right? So you have the sender and the receiver. The sender submits the signal, the receiver receives it. Sometimes there's things that are the signal doesn't get conveyed properly, right? If you're not communicating it well. So you need to learn how to communicate effectively in order to convey the message properly. Sometimes some things are said or done subliminally, which could change the impact of the communication. So you need to be able to read those nonverbal cues when you're conducting business. And that's also where NLP comes in handy, is to be able to pick up on those nonverbal cues in order to further the transaction. So, like, to give you an example, I was talking to a customer the other day. He was at a meeting, and he picked up on some nonverbal cues during the consultation that informed him of how to speak to the people in the room.
Really?
Yeah. So let me give you an example. Like if you we talked about it I think the other day. We talked about how you can use mirroring. That's one of the techniques.
Yes.
If I'm talking to people from the South, their conversation, their style is slower, whereas in like Miami or New York, it's faster, right?
Yeah.
You pick up on a faster pace,
Yeah.
and so the way that you would engage with that person, if you pick up the speed, then you may lose them because they're not tracking with you, right?
Yeah.
Or you may insult them, right? Because they might think that you're pulling a fast one on them, right?
Yes.
So you want to get in their comfort zone.
Exactly.
Right, so they'll lower their guard and they can understand you better. So if you're a northerner and you're speaking to a southerner, you want to slow down your communication in order to make that person feel comfortable and so that they can hear you with what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Not be a race car driver. Let me see what else we got here. Okay, so again, NLP techniques can help you build rapport. And also you can use it for reframing. Again, reframing is like repositioning the conversation, the content that you're receiving.
Yeah.
Right. So you can use that when a customer tells you what they want, you can restate what they're saying, reframe what they're saying to show them, to convey to them that yes, you understand what they're saying, and get acknowledgement that. Give acknowledgement to them that you're paying attention to what they're saying, that you understand their needs, and that you're able to respond to those needs, satisfy those needs, help them achieve those needs. And if you do that, that will help you increase your customer satisfaction,
absolutely,
and increase your sales volume. Okay. And that's it. That's all I got for NLP for today. If I do have a friend who lives here in the complex.
Oh,
Amanda.
Yeah.
Amanda she's an NLP practitioner. So we need to bring her onto the show and ask her some more questions and open up that for conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. So it looks like so the NLP, you can use it. Like part of it, you can use it. So like the example that you said of the person that was in a meeting, they were picking up on the nonverbal cues that the people had, so that this person used it to communicate with them better. And so that's a way that you can use NLP to, like, when you're having your conversations with people and you're doing business, you can pick up on those cues and understand, because like that's nonverbal communication. You know, like they're picking up on things that they don't really need to say. Yeah. So you're using this to kind of pick up on that, so you can do a better business. You can become, like, if you need to pivot, if you're doing a pitch and they're not exactly liking that example so well, you can use a different example for how this product can benefit them, and that will sell. Then that'll help you make the sale more than
it does. It's all about building camaraderie. It's all about building a connection with your client, with your customer, your prospect. So there has been in the past, like there was a movie that showed this guy who was doing some magic tricks, and he was like, some people think that NLP is part of the dark arts.
Was it Edward Norton?
No,
was that the one?
No, that's a different one.
What's that called? The Prestige.
The Prestige.
The Prestige.
Yeah, the Prestige.
The Prestige. That's an amazing movie.
There was this other movie where this guy would ask specific questions, and by asking specific questions to the audience, to a specific audience member, he would be able to fool the whole audience that he was able to mind read the person, right? But what he was doing was he was very prepared to ask specific questions where he knew he was going to get certain answers from that person, right? He would ask leading questions to guide them to answer where he was trying to steer them. So basically he was steering them. Okay, so there are some misuses of what people claim to be neurolinguistic programming in order to fool people into believing that they have this magic but it's not magic at all. If you dive deep into it, it's just steering through communication. It's steering through communication. But you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing, steering people to have a good rapport with you,
yes.
right? And that's just communication building. There's no magic to it. Where the magic comes in is hypnosis. If you wanted to go through, like if you wanted to take it to another level, if you use hypnosis on a person and then you put them under your hypno trance, now you can control them, and so that you have to be careful with. And not everybody, from what I understand, like my 50 years of life, is that not everybody has the is open, right, to receive hypnosis. Some people you could try to hypnotize and they won't be hypnotized. Like they have a barrier that won't allow them to be hypnotized. Other people, it's easy to hypnotize. And so I think there's some variations in that. And I'm not a hypnotherapist. I can't speak to all of the things of hypnotherapy. I have a friend who studied it, and he's a psychologist. He's a licensed psychologist, and he studied hypnosis, hypnotherapy in college. And we were at a bar or something. We were at some place, and there was a lot of people around. And he gave me an example of how even with, you don't have to like go to sleep, be taken back in different layers. You can actually be hypnotized in a busy room with a lot of noise around you. And he gave me an example of how he did it, and it was just like a mild level of hypnosis, and I thought that was really amazing. So there's a wide variety of mind control that's out there, and I don't know. I can't speak to that because I don't know a whole lot about it. But from what I've heard in this neuro-linguistic programming book that I've listened to, it's an audio book I can't remember the name of the author, but I'll tell you right now. Let me see if I can find it on Hoopla. And the information is pretty amazing. The psychologists that wrote about it in the 1970s have written a couple of other books, and they're fantastic. I love the content. Alfred Borden. So this NLP book that I've listened to the audiobook twice already is by Alfred Borden. And the content is really interesting. Now, again, I've told you that Tony Robbins is one of the main guys that's promoting or as a master of neuro-linguistic programming, and it's really an interesting subject matter. I really want to dive in deeper and learn more about it. So I'm going to try to bring Amanda, who also has studied NLP and hypnosis, to come on and be a guest and talk about that. Yeah, it'd be really cool. I think anything that we could do as entrepreneurs in order to effectively communicate better with our clients is going to be helpful for us.
Yes.
And I think another thing is, as we go through our own programming of our subconscious mind, reprogram it, become better, more astute, looking for these types of techniques to look at our programming, how we've set up instructions ourselves is, number one, you have to become aware of those instructions before you can change it. So like I've listened to James Allen in the book that he wrote called As a Man Thinketh, which was written in the late 1800s. There were some precursors before him. I don't have the name or the authors, and I have not read any of those authors that preceded James Allen. But I can tell you that a lot of what James Allen wrote, I found in Think and Grow Rich. I found in Bob Proctor's works as well. So, and that was in the 20th century, right, from the 1920s all the way up until Bob Proctor just died like 2 years ago, a year ago.
Really?
He just passed away. So his, like, all of that content in the last 100 years, you can see it in As a Man Thinketh from James Allen.
Wow.
And a lot of what he said, which I love, if you go listen to As a Man Thinketh, you'll see how it all ties back to the Bible. There's a lot of instructions on how basically we can reprogram our minds, because God gave us the ability to rewrite our lifestyle. It's basically what we're talking about with Ezekiel here. When he changes your heart, right, he's also changing your mind, your mindset.
Yes.
He gives us that ability to re-engineer ourselves, to become something new.
Yep.
Is his divine providence inside of that and guiding us? Absolutely, 100%.
So, but dialing it back, okay? I think that, God supersedes everything, and He puts things in place for you to change your behavior, to change your mindset, to change the actions that you do on the outside, because it all comes from within. Starts on the inside and goes to the outside. But dialing it back to like, what are we in control of here in the here and now as we make our steps, right? We make our plans. Let's go back to the mindset tip of the day. Keep your eye on the prize. It all starts with thinking about the person that you want to be, right? So you have a vision, and your vision, you start with whatever that big goal is, and then you work your way back. You reverse engineer your life. And when you do that, you'll make changes, you'll make adjustments, and that's great. You'll make those you'll make those pivots as you're navigating to the prize that you're seeking, right? You have your eye on your prize, but when you're looking at who you need to become in order to achieve that prize, that's where looking at NLP, looking at self-affirmations, looking at self-help books, these are all things that help you figure out. Think about this. You have an architect who has made a design of who you are, right? Life instructions that design who you are, right? That architect is not one person. It's a whole bunch of people that poured into you in some good ways and some bad ways.
Yeah.
We need to self-analyze the bad things that are not serving us, that are hindering us from achieving our goals, so that we can rewrite the program.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
That's positive affirmations. That's the 3M system, right?
Yes.
You do your physical exercises, you do your positive affirmations, you do your meditation, help you get focused, right? Get clarity on where you are and where you're trying to go. What are those handicaps that are holding you back from achieving your goals? Rewrite that, right? Plan out, what do you need to do differently? What new habits will serve you? What bad habits are hurting you? Look, I used to have a bad habit. You have to analyze it all. I used to have the bad habit of smoking cigarettes. I used to have the bad habit of drinking alcohol a lot. I had at one point, a long time ago, almost 2 decades ago, I had the bad habit of doing drugs. It was bad, right? These are all things that I have overcome by reprogramming my mind, reprogramming my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you can look and see the benefits that have come from it. If you look at me, my character, you can just see like all of the things that I've achieved since I've progressively changed my habits, the way I live my life on a daily basis. You need to do that. If you want to be a better version of yourself, you're going to have to change.
Absolutely.
So all of these are resources that will help you do that.
Yeah, I agree. That's what you have to look at everything, and that's the only way to really change. You gotta look at the good, the bad, the ugly. Look at like what you're doing good. Look at what you're doing wrong, and how can you change that? How can you fix that?
Yeah, and I think another thing is like we should all have role models.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Think about who's living the life that you want to live.
Yep.
And then what are they doing, and what can you do, and then go research what they're doing. How are they doing it? Right? Pick 5 different role models. They say you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with. Well, if you can't hang out with those role models yet, then dive into their content, right?
Yeah.
Like get the Tony Robbins book. Get High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Get 2 Weeks Notice by Amy Porterfield. Dive into these books, right? And change who you want to be. First things first, Stephen Covey, get those resources and let them be your mentors.
Yeah.
Virtually, let them be your mentors. And start, and so like I love the Bible the most, right? Because I think that's like the most wise book ever written. And so I highly recommend that you dive into reading the Bible. Yeah. And then read these other books, these other resources like 1 Hour Marketing, okay? Find books that will help you achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve, okay? Yes. And then you'll see the progress. And then journal, right?
Yeah.
One other thing is you can journal what you have, what you're dealing with, what you're going through, so that you can track, right? How you're progressing from where you are in the point where you say, I'm going to make a change. I want my life to be different. I want to be like this over here. and make keep your journal, make notes every day about what you're doing to achieve those goals, so that you can look back at it, and you should, and every year look back at your journal and see how much progress you've made. So those are like milestones. Every time you put an entry into your journal, it's a milestone to say, hey, this is where you are, this is where you're going, this is what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And when you look in reverse, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe that God solved that problem for me.
Yeah, when you look back on everything. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like, I can't believe I'm here and doing this right now. It's amazing. I can't believe that we have this podcast and we've been doing this for a year already. How cool is that, man?
Yeah.
Cool. I look at our statistics, how many people watched the last episode. It's like over 1,000 people watched the last episode. It's so amazing, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so cool. We're making a great impact. Did we see that happening when we started this a year ago?
No,
Absolutely not. And wait until like another year or 2 or 5 from now and see, like, maybe right now we have 103 people subscribed. Maybe we'll have 10,000 people subscribed. Something like that would be amazing to make an impact like that.
Absolutely.
I want you guys to make an impact like that. So like, we're trying to be a role model for you to go and do the same thing too. Share wisdom. Ignore the hecklers. Block them like I did today. And just keep giving positive information out there. Don't let them rattle you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do, like I did, just get back on track.
Yep.
Just get back on track. All right, guys.
That was it. That was a great episode.
I think so too, man. It was great. Hey, thank you so much for coming on, Greta, and thank you, John Paul, for coming on. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for supporting us and being here for the show. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next week on Tuesday at 7:30 with another episode.
That's right. All right. And before we finish, go out there
and amplify your message. Have a great week, guys. God bless you all.
God bless you. Bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.